Before this video gets started, I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate anybody that watches this channel. And if you want to see future or past videos of this channel of Draft Raw, please look in the description box below. Now back to In the Clutch programming. What's good, everybody? My name is Draft Raw, and if you haven't been following me, I've been doing a 32 for 32 series where I talk about 32 NFL team drafts for 32 straight days. So if you can tell by the title, this is going to be about the Los Angeles Rams. Now, to give a quick little rundown or recap of what I've already done, you can actually look in the description box below. I've already done the North teams, I've done the East teams, and now I'm in the West teams. And the NFC always is going to come first. So, and then after that, I'm going to go to the South, and we're going to do the NFC first and then the AFC first, then the AFC last. So, anyway, without further ado, let's just get straight into it. With the very first pick for the Los Angeles Rams, they selected in the second round, and that was Cam Akers, running back from Florida State. Now, when I watched Cam Akers, what I saw from him is that I saw a guy that reminded me a lot of Clinton Portis. There wasn't a lot of notes to really write about him. It's hard for me personally to try to chew different things about for running backs. Biggest reason is because, I mean, you closely look at the speed, you look at if they're power guys, you look at if they're scat back guys, you look at do they fall forward? That's a thing that I look at. Can they go out on third down, catch the football? Can they run routes? If there's versatility of being not just a running back but a receiver. And you got the little stuff here or there. Do they find the right hole? Do they go up the middle, or do they bounce to the outside? Do they have that elite speed to really that extra acceleration and burst? And when I watched Cam, it was just like, it was literally, to me, literally just like Clinton Portis. I felt as though he was solid in finding a hole. Sometimes I kind of felt as though the holes were kind of big for him. I didn't feel as though he was a tremendous power guy. He did break a good amount of tackles. Like Clinton Portis, you have a bigger guy that it's not like he's running over football players, running over defenders. It's not like he has this great speed. It's not like he has great quickness. I think that he's an all-around type of running back that got all the little different nuances and things that you look for. Kind of DeAndre Swiftish in a way, in terms of he's not really elite at anything, but he's good at everything. The only thing is that I don't think he was as great as a receiver, the route runner, whatever, yada yada. But I felt as though all around he was still a good running back. So this is a solid pick for the Los Angeles Rams. The only thing I will say is that he's not the guy, to me, that's going to replace a guy like Todd Gurley. I would say that I believe y'all drafted 2 years ago a guy named John Franklin from Tennessee. I think that's his name. I could be wrong about what his name is, but it's John something or whatever it is. I will tell you, he was one of my favorite. Seriously, he was one of my favorite running backs in that draft class, which is about 2 years ago or whatever. I'm trying to find a name, see if I can find a name on here. My little phone, just trying to find a name. I don't think I'm gonna see it, but anyway, he was literally one of my favorite players in that draft class, and I think that he's a guy that's going to replace a guy like Todd Gurley. So I think this is a solid pick, but I don't think it's a replacement pick for Todd Gurley. Y'all, next pick is a pick that I really like, and the reason why I like that pick is because Van Jefferson is one of the best route runners in this draft. He has good hands. The only thing is that it's the consistency of everything. I think that because maybe a little bit because he's a smaller guy. Getting off the press is not something that I see a bunch in his future unless he can use his quickness. Another thing about Van is he reminds me a little bit of Zay Jones. And I don't want to say Zay Jones because we know that Zay Jones was very, very hyped up, going into the draft the year he went, which I think was 2016 or 17, whichever year it was. Probably 16, I think. And he was hyped up big time. And then he gets into the league, and it wasn't as good, it wasn't as smooth as we thought it would be. We thought he was this amazing route runner, which he was still a good route runner, but it didn't work out for him. And with Van, this is a situation where I just hope that it doesn't happen with him. Now, he's going to the Rams. So we know they got Jared Goff. We know they don't got the greatest offensive line, but it's a rebuilding type of offensive line. But they got a quarterback that can get him the ball. Y'all just let go of Brandon Cooks. The only guys y'all got is Cooper Kupp, and I'm blanking on the other receiver, but I know I kind of know who y'all got. But Van Jefferson adds that another dimension to y'all team that can carry on your offense of being one of the top offenses in the league. He is, like I said, he's one of the most underrated receivers in this draft class, and definitely one of my favorite receivers that I love watching. When they're route running, the yards at a catch, all of that type of stuff. I like what I saw from Van Jefferson because he had this special nuance that he used with the way he played receiver. And then his father is a receiver coach, so this is something where it's like, it starts to come together a whole lot more like, okay, this guy is a pretty good receiver. Next, in the third round, y'all decided to select Alabama edge guy linebacker Terrell Lewis. Now, I'm not sure exactly how y'all going to use him. Well, actually, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. Y'all play a 3-4. Well, actually, I'm not, because I got rid of Wade Phillips. So I'm not actually sure if y'all switching to another type of defense, whether it's a 4-3. If y'all still playing a 3-4, this is a solid pick. The only thing is that he's a third rounder for a reason. Terrell Lewis is just like Tim Williams in a way of now Terrell is a lot more longer and like a little more bendier, has the certain type of attributes in terms of length and everything to say that he's going to be a really, really good pass rusher in this league. The problem is the consistency of him as a pass rusher that is going to really hurt him. And then the injuries. And something like Tim Williams, who came out of Alabama, it was a situation where it's just like, you have these guys that are explosive pass rushers, but for whatever reason, they just don't work. Maybe it's the weight issue. Maybe Terrell Lewis needs to be bigger than what he is. You know, he's a 6'5" guy, and he still look long and lanky. Maybe he needs to be 6'5", 280. I mean, it's kind of weird to say, because you're like, he's 260, maybe 275. Maybe that's where he needs to be. But this is the type of dude, I think he can still bring athleticism, which he has. He has explosiveness. He has bendiness. He has athleticism. You know, he has all the things that are making to being a really good pass rusher in this league. He just needs to put it all together. He needs more years in the league. He needs to add strength. And he just needs a good coach that can teach him how to get around that edge and create not just the speed around the edge, but then put that power into it to become a more consistent pass rusher. Something that the Rams haven't had in a little while, besides Aaron Donald, of course. But they haven't had that explosive edge guy that probably since Robert Quinn. But having a guy like Terrell Lewis is a solid pick, especially in the third round. But I would have caution about him being a guy that you're going to sit there and you're like, this is our pass rusher. Have caution about it. With the next pick, they selected Terrell Burgess, safety from Utah. I wasn't a big fan of Terrell Burgess neither. And this is not a hating on the Rams type of situation, because I liked y'all draft last year, and I liked y'all draft that year before. Y'all, those drafts, especially that year before, y'all chose like Joseph Noteboom and, you know, the running back I talked about earlier. But whatever. But this is the thing that I'm seeing that I'm not liking about it, is that as a safety, I don't think Terrell Burgess, first of all, I think that was y'all chose Taylor Rapp. And maybe, I don't know how good Taylor Rapp is, but I heard that he was pretty solid for the Rams. And then, and maybe y'all use him as nickel corner. Maybe he's not a straight up safety. But you have John Johnson, and he's a free safety, strong safety, you know, hybrid type of guy. So maybe this is a situation where Terrell Burgess will be when they go in the nickel, and maybe Taylor Rapp starts, but when they go to that nickel, Taylor Rapp comes down and Terrell Burgess stay up. Maybe that's the situation with how they're going to do it. I think he's an interchangeable safety. The only problem is that I don't think that he's as good as advertised. I think that they hyped up a lot of the safeties in this draft. I felt as though there wasn't a lot of safeties that I actually like. Clemson, Kayvon Wallace was a guy. Antoine Winfield Jr. was a guy. Xavier McKinney, Grant Delpit, I mean, in McKinney, he brings versatility, but just, you know, I don't want to get into it because I already talked about those guys in videos that you can check on my channel anyway. But Terrell Burgess is a type of, and those videos, that safety video is actually in a studio session and not with the bullcrap that you see here, COVID-19. Thank you very much. But anyway, Terrell Burgess is a solid safety that, you know, he brings good tackling, but he brings solid coverage ability, but I don't think he's really special at anything. And but maybe it's something where in the Rams system that they can work out with when it comes to him. But he's not the type of safety that I would have put on my team. Next, y'all chose in the 4th round, and that was Bryce Hopkins, Purdue. I think it's like 3 tight ends that they went to a school that wore like black and gold, and I always keep getting, it was like Vanderbilt, Purdue, and it was like another team, and I think Bryce Hopkins went to Purdue. I can't remember, but what I wrote about him was that he was a fast reception tight end. There was nothing else to really write. He was, you know, he wasn't one of those in-line blockers or anything. He was just fast, and he just got receptions. Y'all have Gerald Everett. I don't know what other tight end yet y'all have, but Bryce Hopkins is just another weapon that y'all can use, especially as like a hybrid tight end wide receiver slot type of guy. So maybe that's, you know, bring a new, you know, nuance to the slot position. You know, maybe that's the situation with them or how they're going to use him. But it was a weird pick just because you have Gerald Everett. Like I said, I keep forgetting who the other tight end is, but it just seemed a little weird to choose him when you have a solid reception tight end. So to get another guy, but maybe they're just trying to make it a more explosive offense like the Kansas City Chiefs or something, to just kind of make something different, use something different, something new, whatever. But anyway, he's a solid pick. This is not a pick that I can hate on. It's just a solid pick. It's not a great pick. Next, y'all chose Jordan Fuller, safety from Ohio State. He's late to diagnose plays, and he has average range. It's kind of hard to like this draft a lot because I think, you know, I love Van Jefferson, and then the rest of the picks to me is a little disappointing. But that's all I can have when it comes to him as what I wrote down in my notes. He's late to diagnose plays, and like I said, he has average range where you can see a guy like an Earl Thomas or a Kevin Byard, and then they're covering. Either they're going to break to the deep to who's ever running the go route, or they can sit there and wait until the quarterback throws, and then they break, but they get to it. Jordan Fuller seems like he's back there, he's looking. The quarterback's about to make that long throw to the right side, and he's running. But by the time the ball gets there, he's like 5 yards from the football. And there was plenty of times where the ball was overthrown or whatever. But it was just kind of like, you're not getting there. And if he gets there, because of the angle that he took, it's an interception. So that's where it's just kind of like, it's kind of weird because we're not sure if it's a late to the ball type of situation, or is it just his average range? Like he just doesn't have great range. Then y'all had 3 picks in the 7th round. I'm gonna just say this: one of y'all picks was a kicker. I don't watch kickers, so we're not gonna talk about him. So I'm gonna just talk about the 2 guys. Let's talk about the first one out of those 2, and that was Clay Johnson, linebacker from inside linebacker slash outside 4-3 type of linebacker, probably inside linebacker 4-3-4 out of Baylor. He's fast, he moves well, he has high energy, and he has a great motor. As a tackler, I really couldn't tell most of the time. There was some tackles that he missed, but it was kind of like he overran the play a little bit, or he just kind of lunged, so he needs to improve on that. But then there was also situations where he just wasn't able to get there, or he was the person kind of juked him. You know, he gets right there, and the person, a quick cut, and that gets any linebacker. Like, you can bite on that, you know, and that's any linebacker in the league, no matter who you say. Even Ray Lewis would have like fell on those type of plays. But it was a situation where maybe he just played too fast, and maybe that was it. But I thought he was a solid linebacker, special teams type of guy. I don't know if he's really a starter. I mean, he is a 7th round pick, but we're going to talk about these players like they can be starters. I don't know if he's really a starter, but he's a solid linebacker that the Rams chose. And then with y'all last pick, forgetting the kicker, y'all chose Tremaine Antrim from Clemson, offensive tackle. Big right tackle, doesn't really have the greatest feet, and he also lacks length to actually play the tackle position. So this is a situation where y'all probably going to switch him inside the guard. And when I say he lacks length, it's more the height situation, because he does have 33-inch arms. He's just 6'2". It's kind of weird, you know. If he had 34-inch arms, you know, everybody be like, yeah, this guy can probably play tackle, but he doesn't have the greatest feet at the same time as well. So it's a toss-up with there. But I thought he was a solid guy, but I think that he could be a really, really good guard, especially being 216. Man, 6'2", 315 pounds. You know, he brings some little girth to that middle of the offensive line that the Rams probably need, especially while they're trying to reinvent their whole offensive line. And, you know, with a guy, y'all first pick that y'all have, to try to get a good line that Cam can run through. So it is what it is. Anyway, that was the last pick in the draft. Like I said, if you want to see any of the future or past videos, look in the description box below. If you like this video, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. Please share. And lastly, please hit that notification bell. And it says personalized, and it'll say all. Hit that all so you can get all notifications, or not personalized, all notifications. And, you know, we just going to keep on rocking with this 32 for 32 series. Once again, my name is Draft Raw. I thank anybody for watching. Goodbye. Thank you for staying to the end of this video. Once again, I am Draft Raw, and this show is called In the Clutch. If you like this video, please hit that like button, and please leave a comment below, and definitely share this video. If you want to see more of me, please hit that subscribe button, and please hit that notification bell. And obviously, if you want to follow me on social media, you can follow me at Draft Raw on Twitter and Instagram. And you can also follow me on Facebook at Draft Raw Authentic. Once again, I'm Draft Raw, in the clutch. Thank you for watching.